Hello and welcome to the Aces Up Your Sleeve podcast. My name is Dr. Cade Sharp,
And I am Sabrina Longley.
and we're here to talk to you today about autistic relationships and everything related to being autistic in this world.
Yeah, and socially being autistic in this world, because that's a big part of being in this world in general.
Absolutely. On this podcast, we're going to touch on usually listener questions and also just topics that are really relevant in what we hear day to day. But as a disclaimer, this is not therapy or advice. It's what we might do if we were in your position, or what we do actually do in real life, and our thoughts on your situations or the stuff that's posed to us.
Yep. So even though we are both therapists, this is not therapy, and it is not advice, and it's more like anecdotal, and sharing our thoughts.
Pretty excited today. This is our first episode, first recording, so bear with us if there's any technical challenges or issues.
Yeah, welcome. We're super excited to start this podcast, and we really think it's going to be interesting. We've already seen a lot of folks who are looking for something like this, and so that's why we decided to do it. And I really like the topic that we're starting with today. So
Yeah, we're going to start off a little lighthearted because there's so many topics that are much more serious that we hopefully will get to cover too. But before we jump into kind of the questions we've been seeing and the discussions we've seen, a quick intro maybe for our listeners who aren't familiar with us and our work.
yes,
So I'm Dr. Cade Sharp. Y'all can just call me Cade. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker over here in southeastern Washington in the Richland Tri-Cities area. I used to work exclusively with kids, and now I work more with teens, young adults. Spend a lot of time doing kind of late diagnosis type work, and primarily my clients are queer and trans. Personally, I am trans, queer, demisexual, autistic, definitely. So all that lived experience and clinical knowledge is what I'm bringing to the podcast.
and I am Sabrina. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of North Carolina. What all did you just say? How do I introduce
Kind of your
myself the same way?
specialties, who you like to work with, who you are.
Yes. Okay, so I started out working almost exclusively with teenagers in an intensive outpatient setting. So that's like high acuity for those of you who are familiar with the mental health space in the mental health industrial complex. And so I really, really enjoyed that work. And now I do more just regular outpatient therapy with almost exclusively ADHD and or autistic folks, borderline personality disorder, quote unquote disorder, and Black folks, brown folks, Asian folks, fat folks, queer folks. I am several of those things. And so I really like working with all of that, again, from that lived experience place. And then, yeah, like adults. And I find a lot of my work centers on boundaries and on authenticity in relationships. So that's often where I'm coming from. Yeah. So
I love how we have
I think
like different backgrounds, but yeah, it kind of overlaps in some cool ways, and that authenticity piece is so vital to all the work that I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you started with kids and then you were like, I'm going to move up into like teenage world and early adults. And I started at teens and I'm like, I can work with more adults and folks kind of moving through those later pieces of life. So yeah, I think we've got most of the lifespan covered between us two and our kind of work backgrounds.
Absolutely. And hopefully we'll get to bring on some guests too who have slightly different specialties compared to ours, but are also autistic and maybe queer, maybe ASPEC themselves.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yep. Oh, yeah. That's the other part. I am queer. I am aspec. I am Black. I'm fat. I'm what was the other one? Autistic, ADHD, BPD, all of those fun things. So yeah, a lot of lived experience in here. And then our goal is to always make sure where we can to bring in other types of lived experience, because between just two individual humans, we're not going to have it all. Yeah.
But hopefully, we will bring some things that maybe our listeners have not heard before or that they don't mind hearing repeated, whether that's like some validation and just to know what other people are going through it too, or that we're witnessing other folks who are experiencing similar. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the other thing to note is that we're going to try to keep it pretty um PG-13, safe for work kind of stuff here on our main podcast. And then we'll be doing an after dark or a kind of like more 18 plus section of the podcast, bonus content over on our Patreon. So there will still be some swears. That's just who I am as a person. But most of the content, especially as we get into not safe for work content, maybe more kink aligned things like that, are going to be on that Patreon for you.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be a place where we can really explore those topics that our listeners will consent to hearing and be part of that conversation on that side of things. So that'll be exciting. I don't think I said, but my PhD is in clinical sexology, and my dissertation was specifically around autistic empowerment. So favorite topics to talk about. Also a certified sex therapist, and it'll be cool to shine a light on some of those topics because often it gets overlooked or we get treated like we're not sexual beings, we're not kinky beings. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for
All right.
today,
Should we dive into? Yeah.
yeah, much more innocent conversations today for sure. Um, and for listeners at home, as you join us, you'll definitely hear our autistic accents, is what they're called. So we might talk over each other. Our volume might get really wonky. Apologies in advance to headphone users. And our pacing might sound a little different, but if you are also autistic, you might feel right at home.
Yeah, the ADHD is also going to mean lots of over talking, but we'll try to keep it to an understandable level.
So to jump in, today we were hoping to talk a little bit about comfort items, wilderness preparedness, where wilderness is just like being out in the world away from your home environment where you have a little more control and all your favorite belongings.
God, wilderness. Like I'm going into the wilderness today. Where are you going? The mall. I need to grab some new leggings. It'll be great.
Sometimes that's how it feels sometimes.
I mean, yeah, like wilderness, what would come from wild? Yeah, that makes sense to me. That's super wild out there.
Yeah, especially for those of us with a lot of sensory sensitivities, that can be an intense, like a mall. No, thank you.
I respect that a lot. I think a busy mall is especially no thank you. I can usually do like medium and like low busyness days. I like people watching okay.
Oh yeah, people watching is a good time. So maybe a day where it's a little slower. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for the
Go
for
ahead.
the first question, do you want to read it? You want me to give it a read?
I can read it, and if you want to read the next one.
Cool.
Okay, so our first question that we found is, I recently saw a post on Instagram where people were saying autistic people are more likely to carry backpacks around as they like the feeling of the pressure on their back. I realized this was accurate to me. I'm wondering if it's true for anyone else. So first off, is it true for you? Do you like the pressure of a backpack on your back?
I do not. I will ask other people to carry things for me. I'm so sensory avoidant and averse that like, no thank you. Someone else can carry it,
Yeah.
but I do carry around bags and backpacks. How about you?
So I don't love the feeling. Part of that is I have some chronic back pain, and so and then also I run really hot, and so usually a backpack is going to warm me up in a way that I find abhorrent. But I was just on a trip with some friends, and I was carrying my big heavy fucking backpack because we were going between two different locations and I needed my laptop and it's a whole fucking thing. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, I can carry that for you." And I was like, "Oh, it's really heavy." And she's like, "That's okay. It grounds me." It feels grounding
Oh,
to like have that weight, and almost reminds me of like a weighted blanket almost feeling. And I was like, oh, that actually isn't something I've ever experienced or like really thought of. And so I found it really funny that this was our first question, because I was like, I actually do know someone who maybe would agree with that feeling, but that's not at all how or why I carry bags or backpacks.
yeah, same, but that's cool that it's so relevant too. Like recently someone was just talking to you about that they do get that
Yep.
sort of relief. And I know that's true for a lot of autistic folks that the pressure can help and be grounding.
Yeah. But like you, I always have something. Well, not always. I mostly have something, especially these days. Um, some kind of a backpack. So recently I've been carrying around, it's like a small backpack that I got in Scotland when I was there. And it's kind of like structured, and it holds exactly the right amount of things that I need to bring with me, like without me being able to bring too many things. And then I've got, because I'm really a bag lady. I'm really good for a like, cool, I'm just gonna bring crochet and a book and a tablet and my computer and this, and then I'm like too disabled to carry all of that shit. And so it becomes like, I don't want to anymore. Free me from the oppression of all the crap that I'm bringing with me.
It's like you need the extra storage and you want to bring the items, but the actuality of carrying it around is a lot.
Oh, it's so bad. I hate it.
Are you someone who also has like a collection of bags, a bag for different situations?
So I have lots of bags, but I don't use lots of bags, if that makes sense. Like I'm not one who's like, so I prefer a like neutral, specifically a black bag, because that'll go with anything. I don't like clashing. I really can't stand clashing. I prefer to match. And so I use like my black backpack. Actually both of my backpacks over here are black. For that reason. Um, but yeah, I'm very much a like, I have lots of bags, but I will hone in and only use one of them for like 5 or 6 years. And then I will find something that like fits my need better, or like something like that. I used to do a lot of the like one shoulder guys, but again, like my back is not really set up for that anymore. So I use like actual backpacks, two straps in order to like, actually, what's most annoying though is like I have found that I can't quite find the bag that meets all the needs the way that I want it to. I want the ease of the one shoulder bag to like just get into it and grab stuff quickly, but I want the like balance of the backpack, which is annoying because you have to like take it all the way off to get anything out of it.
Yeah, yeah, if you're doing
What
like a
about you? What's your
crossbody
bag
bag
collection
too.
look like? Okay, you
Yeah,
like a crossbody?
definitely. Crossbody can be, I don't know, I always wear it on the one shoulder, but you're right, there is like this little sensory imbalance feeling. Yeah. But I've got like
Yep.
three different backpacks for different uses, so I don't rotate through them, but I have like the work backpack, the travel backpack,
Ah,
the plain
yeah.
carry-on backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
probably messenger bag or two. Yeah, yeah.
What's most annoying too about like multiple backpacks is that you can't stack them well. So like my little Scotland backpack that I now have, like it's got like a battery charger and my wallet and my little fan because I run really really hot, and um my inhaler stays in there, and a big ass hair tie because my hair is ginormous, and like all of that kind of stuff. That's my like, I just need this to be everywhere with me, like even throughout my house I bring it with me. But then when I'm like going to work, I put my laptop and everything else in another backpack. Like, cool, now I just don't have a good way to carry both of these back items.
No,
What?
that's where I like the messenger bag a little. Like then you can do backpack and that, and it's a little less wonky, but it's still yeah. But I'm hearing you say, one of the reasons you use it that's not the back pressure is just to be prepared for whatever accommodation type stuff you've got going that day, whether that's a project to work on with the crochet or like your phone charger to make sure you always have access to your phone.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think that's a
yeah.
common reason that
I'm,
autistic people wear backpacks.
yes. I think so too. I think that there's definitely like, I think because there can be such a stigma to like, oh, like you're so high maintenance or you need all this shit. It's like, then I just want all my stuff for myself. I don't want to have to ask anyone. I don't want to have to say like, hey, we need to duck in here so I can charge my phone or so I can get out of the heat for a minute. Like, I'm just gonna have a fan on me. I'm just gonna have my charger. I'm just gonna have my earplugs, like all of that stuff in my bag on me, and I can take care of it without having to like engage with others, which like I don't necessarily agree with from a therapy stand. Like, you know, therapist me is like, ask for what you need, have friendships that like respect your needs and don't make you, you know, all the shit. But, you know, realistically, it is sometimes just easier to like have all the things you want and need that will make you feel comfortable no matter
Mhm.
what. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been like, you know, in a restaurant or like, so I was just in Greece last week and it was so fucking hot. And so like just having my little fan made it so much more tolerable for me to be anywhere.
Yeah.
That ends up being way more why I bring a bag around.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I mean, there's the self-sufficiency piece and the comfort piece, and then on the flip side, I don't know if you use bags in this way, but I've definitely had friends over the years who become like the parent friend, one in particular, like the mom friend who always had a purse, and if you ever needed
Hmm.
a headache medication or you needed an allergy med or a snack or like your glasses broke, she just had it. Like that purse had everything, and it kind of gave her like an additional role in the friend group, which can sometimes make autistic
Mm.
socializing a lot easier if you know your roles.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely like the idea of being that person. The reality of being that person is usually a bigger backpack than I am willing to like lug with me.
Yeah.
What my partner and I often do is like when we were in New York, we grabbed this like backpack from this little shop. It's like a cute little black backpack. But it's like pretty nicely sized. Like it's, you know, good like Jan Sport kind of size. And we'll just like pack that up and then they'll carry it because they're disabled as well, but in different ways than I am.
Mm.
And that'll be our like, okay, we have everything we need. But then also we often will take my car. So I don't have a bag that's all that shit. It's all in my car. I keep my cane
Uh,
in my car. I keep extra bobby pins in my car. I keep nail clippers and pain meds and deodorant and like literally everything you could want. Like it's I used to keep a big bin of party clothes in the
in
back
the
of my
car.
car. Yeah,
Wow,
just so
ready
that, you
to
know,
go,
if you're
ready to
going,
party.
yeah. You know, I would keep like bras in there because like sometimes you just forget to put on a bra or you need a different one halfway through the day. Like just everything you could think of. And then I would be really fucked anytime that I didn't drive myself because I would forget everything I needed sitting in the car.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And I have to chuckle because you're like, you've got party clothes in the back of your car, and the thing I used to have when I was being super social in the back of my car was like a Pathfinder, like D&D role-playing game book and dice. Like you just never know when you might need that,
Oh,
apparently.
exactly. No, one of my best friends, like, no matter what kind of party we're going to, he brings a couple of board games and it's saved evenings that we've had before where it's just like, there's not like maybe the party is like too loud and doing too much or maybe it's like dying down or like whatever but like he brings a few games that are like pretty easy to play and pick up and it's so fucking nice to just like oh cool we can just go play games in the corner.
That's awesome. You know, also speaking of like finding the perfect bag, I didn't think I'd have a resource for this episode, but I did find the perfect
Ah,
bag back in
oh
my
yeah,
college days. Yeah. It's a messenger bag called the Bag of Holding, which the D&D thing reminded me, and it was from
hell yeah,
thinkgeek.com.
okay,
It just like so many pockets, could fit up to I think a 17-inch laptop. Anything you
holy
need
shit.
could go. Yeah, and it was like very capable and super sturdy, so you didn't have to worry about it breaking if you overloaded it. And then they stopped making it. However,
No.
right? But people loved it so much that they petitioned for it to get remade, so I believe it's now being remade and resold. So if any listener is looking for a really nice bag with not too many offending like textures and lots of pockets and compartments, that is what I would recommend actually.
Okay.
Think ThinkGeek
Listener,
can
what
maybe
you will find is
sponsor us.
that oh there you go. Absolutely, they can. Hey, listener, what you will find about Dr. Cade is that Dr. Cade loves a resource. Loves to have a little. Here is a resource. Here is a tool. Here is a thing for you. So that's a really good one. I I think what's really hard for me is like I was saying, like everybody is going to need a different type of bag because they're going to have different needs that they're trying to meet. Um, the bag that I got in Scotland, like actually ends up being really perfect for me. It's not too slouchy, like it stands up on its own. It's like a nice leather bag that like is structured, which is really really nice. And it has like the exact right types and kinds of pockets for what I travel with right now. But that might change at some point and has definitely changed in the past. And I feel like that's always what I get stuck on is like, oh, well, like this person carries like someone on my Greece trip was wearing like one of those front like a fanny pack over their chest. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah.
And it was super cute. It was like iridescent and shiny. We actually got a picture of my boss in it, which made me really happy. I'll have
Oh,
to show you that picture. It was so cute. But like I could never wear something like that. I would start feeling choked. It would be too much like weight in the front of me. It's not actually big enough for all the things that I want and need out of it. Like that's what's I think really hard is that like everyone is going to have such different bag needs.
mhm.
Um and even like situation to situation. Like there are certain friends where if I'm going to their house, the things in my bag need to be a certain types of things versus if I'm going to a different friend's house, I might not need to bring those things or I might need different things or whatever. And it's like that's where it comes in handy to have like multiple types of bags.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree. As perfect as that bag was, you hear that I still have like 3 or 4 other bags that I rotate through for different uses. Yeah.
Yup,
I think
exactly.
with this question too, like there is that other social piece, and I'm not seeing it in the way this one was presented, but I do hear it sometimes that people are a little self-conscious, like, well, what are people gonna think if I bring a backpack? There's kind of like a societal
Mm.
stigma that are you a student? Do you work in the tech field? Like in Seattle, if you have a backpack on, people just assume you work in tech.
Or
I
even
don't
like
know
where
if
am
you
I going to
see.
put it? Like there's just so little space in this thing or like I think that that's another part is like sometimes there's the like okay, but we're already going to be crowded. Do I really want to add like a whole bag of shit to that crowded space?
And I think ultimately, even if it's uncomfortable for us to figure out, like, where do I put this? What do I do? What are other people thinking? The benefits of us bringing it outweigh that, often. I
Oh
won't say
yeah.
every time, but often. So I would
I've
encourage
never
listeners, like,
regretted having the things in Yeah, I've never regretted having the things in my bag. Like, even if I don't pull out and use all of them, like sometimes it can just be the thing that actually makes it feel safe to get out the door is to
yeah,
have the things with me that like I know I won't be bored because I have this or I know that I have a fidget or I know that I have like whatever it is that's going to mean that like I can confidently go out to whatever thing I'm going to, like leave my house basically. Um without fear that I'm like missing something.
yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And I think, especially people who know you will just get to know that that's part of you. You just bring that. So there will be more space made for the bag, or people not asking questions or saying things because you just always have a bag.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think like those things of like, oh, are they assuming that I'm this kind of person or that? Like, I do my best to try to like actively challenge those thoughts of like, okay, if they do assume that, what exactly does that mean or what's gonna happen? Like, why does it matter to me? Fucking
Yeah.
assume I'm a student. That's fine. I don't care. That actually changes nothing about my life. Um, and trying to like kind of notice that worry is a not actually super likely to be true. People are not paying that much attention to other people because they're having their own worries about what people are thinking about them. Um, and B, even if it is true, does not actually have to like affect me or change like how I move through the world.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because the people who generally the people who we care most what they think, like they're gonna know us and they're gonna know like who we are, how we exist in the world, and a backpack shouldn't throw them at the end of the day.
Yeah. What is that
Well,
that saying of like those who matter don't mind and those who mind don't matter?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which I think is a great like leaping off point into our next discussion point question. We found some folks talking about comfort items, and it goes kind of
Mm.
hand in hand. Sometimes in your backpack you've got a comfort item, but this person specifically said, "I've always loved plushies and I have tons of them on my bed. The part of this whole thing that I feel bad about is that I not only sleep with it, I also take it with me when I go out. It'll usually just stay in my bag, but sometimes I want to take it out for comfort, but I feel like I'll only be judged and shamed upon for being quote unquote childish or quote unquote immature. That I should not do it just because I want to, because of that old saying, you don't always get what you want, and also because I'm turning 18 this year. That's an entire adult, and it just doesn't feel appropriate for me to still have my plushie in public. Should I grow up and leave my plushie at home, or at least keep it in my bag, or do what I enjoy because it's not like it's harmful, just maybe quote unquote childish? What do you think?
God, just quote unquote childish is like so heartbreaking to me. I remember the first year that I wasn't allowed to bring my stuffed animal to school. I was a really, really big stuffed animal kid. I still am. I still sleep every night with my Barney plushie that I got when I was 3. Um,
Oh,
he like has no eyes anymore because he's old, and well loved. But like I was one of those kids who like, oh, I had Build-A-Bears out the ass. My Build-A-Bears and I had clothes that matched because of the limited to Build-A-Bear like collab thing that
collab.
happened when I was a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, I had Beanie Babies and
Oh,
Webkins and Care Bears. Like I had all of it, and I always had a stuffed animal with me wherever I went. And I remember like, oh, I want to say it was like kindergarten or first grade, and they were like, you got to be done. You can't bring
oh,
a stuffed animal to school anymore. And like the heartbreak
yeah.
was
Like,
so
not even in your
strong.
bag? They were just like, absolutely not?
Listen,
Oh,
I could not explain it to you if you paid me. Um and I've always been one of those autistics who like what is it? Personification. There's
yeah.
another word for it that I'm not going to remember. But like, oh, anthropomorphize. I anthropomorphize all my things. So like these were stuffed animals. They had names and they had relationships with each other and they had relationships with me. And like, I don't know, like it breaks my heart to hear this idea of like, oh, maybe it's just childish. Like it's not harmful, just childish. This idea that somehow like it's close to harmful or it's like, somehow bad or wrong. Like, bring it.
Right.
Bring your plushie. I love seeing like people with their stuffed animals and with their like all of the different types of things. Um they're things for comfort and they're like I don't really see any form of like anything wrong with it. I do not understand why it would even be categorized as like bad, especially as like an 18-year-old. I get why this person would feel that way. I don't agree with anyone who else who would make them feel that way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't even love hearing that like a first or kindergartner like was told you can't bring what, not even in the backpack, not even on the desk if you don't touch it. I know some educators might be like, well, it's distracting, but is it more distracting
I'm
than being
more distracted
dysregulated?
without it. My
Yeah.
ADHD ass, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I stopped listening when you told me I couldn't bring my stuffed animal.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a kid I'd be writing some accommodation letters for if I was their therapist.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was not a stuffed animal kid. I was more of an action figure kid. But when I was like in my early 20s, my dad was super sick with a terminal cancer, and one of my internet friends got me a
Mm,
big stuffed animal, super cozy, super cuddly, and I was like, "You know what?" Even though like I'm like what, 18, 19 or so, and I still have that. Like that still exists in the
yeah.
bedroom hanging out, and it brought a lot of comfort from that like sensory side of things. So I totally get it, and I've never blinked or thought twice about like someone in public bringing a stuffed animal.
Yeah, it's actually so in my office, my like physical office where my clients come, and in my home office, but um my physical office where clients come, that's some of the first stuff that I bring into any office. I started when I was in IOP, but now even as I see adults primarily, like there are three stuffies that live on the couch. So there's a squishmallow of a cat that looks like my cat Egg. There's a turtle. Oh no, he doesn't live on the couch. He lives on the shelf now. There is an owl who's got like two-way sparkly tummy. Um, who is it? The cat, the owl. There's another guy who lives on the couch. Oh no, I feel so bad. I haven't been in my physical office in like 2 weeks. Um,
Oh,
I know. I'm like forgetting. That's
you're
so
gonna have to
frustrating.
apologize to
And
the
then I
third
also
one.
have like I know. Um, and then there's a turtle and his shell is two-way sparkly, and then I've got like a bunch of little guys. Like a little hedgehog, and there's like a little squishy penguin, and there's like some of those ones with the really big eyes, you know what I'm talking about? Like this big glittery
Yeah.
sparkly eyes. Like there's a little monkey and a little maybe a raccoon. Um I have so many stuffed animals in my office along with all the other fidgets. And so many of my clients play with them. Like so often they are a beloved thing that like anyone who comes into my office will sit down and pick up a stuffed animal and like um play with it. And I feel like it's just so sad that we have this weird thing about adulthood that means that like you can't enjoy things.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
stuffed animals are like just for enjoyment. That's like the whole point of them.
Yeah, they're just there to bring some joy. I mean, same in my office. I've got a weighted shark that gets a lot of use, but some of my adults are kind of like, "Sorry, it's so soft or it feels so cool." And like, don't apologize. That's what it's there for. And then I've got
Yeah.
from IKEA Jungle Skog or whatever and Blahage or however you pronounce those because you got to have some trans culture in there. So those are the only actually, I think I have a little Adventure Time Gunther penguin or Gunter, whichever
Mm,
version of him. And then a little Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Pop plushie because I have so many clients who love Five Nights at Freddy's. And it just brings people some joy to see it even if they don't play with it, you know? So ultimately, for this question,
exactly.
I think we're on the same page. Like it's it shouldn't be seen as like shameful, childish, embarrassing if it brings you joy and it's not hurting anyone.
Yeah. No, and I think so. This question asker had also indicated just some shame around being autistic related to this, like this idea that, like, and I think this comes from the way that we infantilize autism a lot anyway. That, like, oh, like, this is really childish and autism is infantilized, and I want to not, like, play into quote unquote
Yeah.
that stereotype. And so I don't want to, like, be that autistic person who's carrying around a stuffed animal and da 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 da. And that I think is something that we really need to like look at is like the way that shame is used to make us mask harder.
Yeah.
This is not a mask for safety for the most part. Like obviously there might be some places where people are going to judge you harshly or like that they will make the
Oh,
world
sure.
unsafe for you because you carry a stuffed animal. Like there can be bullying. I'm not downplaying that. But I do think that like if you can find places where you will be accepted, you then need to do the work of like not judging yourself
Yeah.
for enjoying like having something that feels safe and familiar and like home and soft and like I can't tell you the amount of times that like stuffed animals come in real handy because you can put your head on them as a pillow or you can like lean on them or like I'll sometimes put one right in the crook of my back so that I can like have that lumbar support. Like they come in
Yeah.
real handy as well as just being like nice to have with you. Like when we went to Scotland, my partner is an early childhood educator, teach 4 and 5 year olds, and brought their classroom stuffed animal pet along, a little elephant, um, and got so many like compliments and like we would like sit the elephant. We sat them like on our plane ride over. We had an empty seat in the middle of us, and so we like strapped them in the seatbelt, and we like had them come with us all the little places. Like it's fun, it's whimsical, it's enjoyable, and it makes me really sad that people feel specific shame around like still enjoying that kind of fun and whimsy.
Yeah. Yeah, my younger sibling has quite the collection of stuffed animals, and if she were to see somebody in public with a stuffed animal, it would be a connecting place, you know, a place for connection
Yeah,
to reach out and compliment them or talk about the stuffed animal. So, yeah, I know
agreed.
we had a lot to say on these topics, but as we wrap up here, if people want to join us on Patreon, I think we can definitely go deeper. I'd love to talk backpacks and queer culture, maybe stuffed animals
Yeah.
and plushies, and like kink because that absolutely can overlap in a couple different ways. Yeah, thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yeah,
We'd
thanks
love
so
some.
much. You
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we'd love some comments and feedback too. You know what you all want to hear
Yes.
from us. If you've got questions, you can submit them on our website at neurokink.org/AUYS. We can review those and hopefully touch on those topics soon.
Yeah. And you can expect new episodes weekly on Tuesdays. That's going to be our planned recording schedule. And you can find Cade at cadesharp.com. You can find me, Sabrina, at Radical Insights Consulting on Facebook or Instagram. And then, like Cade said, you can send us your questions and we'll read them out and do our best to answer them and talk about them whenever. And you can do that at neurokink.org/AUYS. And now we're going to jump over to Patreon and record our subscriber exclusive content. So we hope to see you over there. And if you'd like to hear us go even deeper into our thoughts on backpacks and queer culture, join us over on Patreon.
Cool.